Today's presentation is on a special type of oscillator. For now, imagine that an oscillator is something that flows back and forth. Some oscillators, like the simple harmonic oscillator, are said to be periodic. Other oscillators, like the chaotic oscillator, are capable of being aperiodic. Oscillators each have their own personality. Some oscillators may come to exhibit values that are independent of their initial conditions. When an oscillator tends to drift towards a specific set of states like this, it suggests the oscillator has an attractor. Most people are familiar with the simple harmonic oscillator, like that of an everyday pendulum. There are also complex harmonic oscillators. Complex harmonic oscillators are more akin to the harmonics we hear in music, whereas simple harmonic oscillators are not technically harmonic. Another episode covers this. Oscillators exist on an anharmonic spectrum, with special exceptions reserved for the complex harmonic oscillators we hear in music and for the behavior of some particles. There is also another family of oscillators that both musicians and scientists employ. The trouble is, this type of oscillator has been given a very confusing name. First, we will have to clear up some of this confusion. After all, molecular physicists have made the language regarding oscillators as broken and confusing as possible. Musicians have a special word called enharmonics. This is enharmonics, spelled with an E. For the sake of clarity, we will call it EN harmonics. EN harmonics occur when two notes sound the same, but are notated differently. There is also a class of EN harmonic oscillators that are often associated with the work of Philip Morse, but we will not cover this type of oscillator today. Today's episode is on a different type of oscillator. Unfortunately, it is pronounced the exact same way as the EN harmonic oscillator. Luckily for us, it is spelt a bit different. Today's episode will be on inharmonic oscillators, as spelt with an I. We will call these oscillators IN harmonic oscillators. IN harmonic oscillators are present in many instruments. This includes cymbals, gongs, and the Western carillon. You can also find inharmonicity at play in the mechanics of the piano. The piano is very difficult to tune for many reasons. We are going to focus on one of those reasons. To put it simply, the high and low extremes of a piano are very difficult to get right. The high range of the piano is very strained and not ideal. Both the striking of the hammer and the tension of the wire combine to add an iron harmonic twist to the piano. Steel beams also exhibit iron harmonics as well. A steel beam is somewhat elastic, and the oscillations are capable of being illustrated through a fourth-order partial differential equation. You can find out more by reading the work of Neville Fletcher. If you tighten a piano string or stress the elastic beams of a structure, the iron harmonics will be revealed. Iron harmonicity goes hand in hand with the stress-strain relationship. The stress-strain relationship tells us when a balloon will pop, when a rubber band will snap, and how deformations might turn irreversible and rigid. The stress-strain relationship can be chopped up into different domains. The first domain is the elastic portion. If you stress an object with the elastic portion of the curve, the object will return to its previous state within practicality. If you stress the object more than that, then you will have to deal with plasticity. Plastic deformations are also reversible, but they need help to do so. This is like if you stretched a rubber band a bit too much.
However, it should be noted that plastic deformations are present for even the slightest of strains.
If you want to reverse the overly stretched rubber band, you might have to heat it up. If you stretch even further than that, you start to risk something called practical irreversibility. A rubber band that snaps isn't as plastic or as elastic as we thought it was. We call this rigidity. Once an object becomes rigid, you cannot deform it back into its previous state. A snapped rubber band is practically irreversible, and thereby practically a constant. A stretched rubber band becomes more iron harmonic as the stress and strain grows. The stress-strain relationship also mirrors that of the dose-response sigmoid. The dose-response sigmoid displays how stress can turn to benefit. This is like how driving a vehicle from time to time can keep it in working shape. Driving it too often will overstress the vehicle. Exercising is also an example of the dose-response sigmoid. Too much over-exercise and you might injure yourself. Too little exercise and you will begin to lose your strength. The annealing process is when you repeatedly heat then cool some types of metal and glass in a special way. This too relates to the shape of the stress-strain curve and results in a stronger object if done correctly. Annealing and exercise are both examples of hormesis. This results in a taller and wider curve. In response, we simply make our scale larger. For simpler materials, like a balloon or a rubber band, the stress will likely serve to weaken the object. When your eyes sense color, the cells of your eye are also strained in a similar manner. So, what is it that ties together color theory, pianos, and rubber bands? The answer is something called a scale law. Scale laws are often referred to as power laws. The Ramberg-Osgood equation describes the relationship between stress and strain. It focuses on the plasticity. The Ramberg-Osgood relationship can be modeled as a power law. Power laws are scale-free. Power laws are a kind of fat-tailed distribution. Power laws are found everywhere in nature, money, physics, and art. Power laws are incredibly difficult to predict due to their higher moments of order. As the stress of the piano string becomes more intense, the distribution becomes more fat-tailed. First, we hear the inharmonicity caused by the elastic qualities of the piano string. As we stretch it even more, we end up having to deal with plasticity. This is where we see the power law. Finally, we stretch the string too tight and it snaps. This is what we call a fat-tailed event. This displays the rigidity of the string at this point. A financial market is not so different from that of a piano string. Pianos are tricky with both the high and low note, and so the truth is in the middle. Sometimes rapid growth isn't all it's cracked up to be. It might inflate your balloon too fast and pop if you don't sell in time. Gradual growth isn't always the key either. A company might not receive enough stress and will slowly start to deflate. As it faces the same tail end problem on the flip side. After all, the difference between a left and right-tailed distribution is just a matter of perspective. On rare occasions, some companies and markets might manage to hold on to and grow their desired traits as they get bigger. We call this being scale-free. This is like when we used annealing to strengthen a metal. In order to be scale-free, we often need volatility. In order to fully appreciate a well-tuned piano, you might need some help from a conductor. Thank you.